What is up, Lume kids? I am Miss Liz and welcome back to the Lume Kitchen. I am so excited that you are here with me today. Now, if you want to know a little something about Miss Liz, is that breakfast is my favorite type of food. You guys, I could eat breakfast in the morning when we're supposed to. I could eat it at lunchtime. I could eat it at dinner time. I could even eat it as a bedtime snack. It is truly, gosh, my favorite type of food to eat. So I thought, what better to do than to make breakfast with you guys? So are you ready to get your hands dirty and get a cooking? You have a really important job. You can say, hey mom, hey dad, brothers and sisters, just sit back and relax. Watch some cartoons this morning because I am making you breakfast today. Are you ready to get with it? Let's do this. Why don't we jump over, wash our hands real quick, and then meet me right back here. All right, now that we have clean hands, why don't we jump in and get talking about what needs to happen in the prep. That's like a short word for preparation, which means to get ready. Why don't we talk about the kitchen prep and a little bit of some kitchen safety today, all right? So here we go. We're gonna get out our ingredients today. Today, we have these biscuits. You guys, canned biscuits are very delicious, and these cans are very fun to open. We need 1 stick of butter, and it can be salted or unsalted. This one is unsalted, but use whatever you have at home. Salted or unsalted, a 1/2 cup of butter. In this container, I have brown sugar. Oh, my favorite kind of sugar. You guys, this is like Miss Liz's favorite day type of thing. My favorite kind of sugar, brown sugar. And then we have cinnamon, all right? So we are gonna be doing a lot of counter work today, and counter work is something that you guys get to do all by yourself. But we're also gonna be doing some oven work. And you know what I say about oven work. If you are working in the oven, you need to have adult supervision, which means you need to have an adult in the kitchen watching you, helping you out, okay? So we're gonna go over to the oven and get it preheated, which means we're gonna get it warming up so that we can throw our yummy breakfast in there real soon. So here we go. We're gonna go turn our oven to 350 degrees. Remember, that's a 3, a 5, and a 0. So let's shout for mom and dad to come supervise us, and let's get this turned on and warmed up. Hey mom, hey dad, I'm turning on the oven. All right, you guys, 350 degrees. And now let the fun begin. We are gonna go pop this stick of butter in the microwave to get all melted. Now, you can't just put it in while it's in its paper wrapper. You have to unwrap it and put it into some sort of container that's safe to go in the microwave. So you might want to ask mom and dad, hey, is there a bowl or a container that I can melt some butter in inside the microwave, okay? And once you grab that, go ahead and open up your butter. I like to pull all the sides open first. And then look, if you get all the sides opened up just like that, you can dump it right in. All right, throw away, whoa, throw away that paper. And you're also gonna grab a little piece of paper towel to put over your bowl, because there's nothing worse than when bubbly, warm butter sprays all over the inside of the microwave. Ugh, mom and dad would not be happy about that. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this container over to the microwave, and you're gonna put it in there for 30 seconds. Once it's cooked for 30 seconds, you guys, it gets pretty warm, and you'll notice that it's not melted all the way. So you're gonna kind of stir it around just a little bit and then put it back in the oven for 20 seconds. So 30 seconds plus 20 seconds all together gives you 50 seconds. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and I'll meet you right back here. All right, we are back from the microwave, and we have this melted butter. Now, it's a little warm, but it's not too hot, okay? So this isn't something that we have to use hot pads for, but we're gonna put it right down here. I like to move it away from the edge of the counter because I don't want it to spill. So I'm gonna leave it right there. And now comes the fun part. Are we ready to get popping? Let's pop open our cans. Now these cans are fun to open. They have a little thing that says start here, a little label that says start here. And you start pulling it like this. Now watch out, because sometimes this thing pops open all by itself. Sometimes it needs a little help, but it surprises me every time. Here we go. Here we go. Ooh, mine didn't pop by itself. Let me give it a little help. Do you see there's little arrows on these cans? It says press right at that line and then it's gonna pop open. Are we ready? Get your thumbs right next to that line. Oh, jeez. Every time, Lume kids, every time it scares me. All right, then you kind of just twist them apart. We are gonna take these biscuits and we're gonna pop them on a cutting board. Now today, we only need a butter knife. The cool thing about butter knives is that you can use it all by yourself because they're not sharp, okay? Sometimes when we use knives, they are really sharp and you need adult supervision. Today, just a butter knife will do the trick. So get all the biscuits out. This one's hiding in there. He doesn't want to come out. And I'm gonna put them on my cutting board and make 2 tall towers. Look, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and another 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 and 4 more makes how many altogether? 8, that's right. 8 biscuits here. Now watch what we're gonna do. You are gonna take your knife like this, your butter knife like this, and you in this tall, tall tower, you're gonna have to use some muscles, okay? You're gonna take it and cut all the way down the middle. Do you see that? Of your tall, tall tower. Press it and press it and press it. You might even need to saw it back and forth a little bit, which is just fine, okay? Oh my gosh, do you see that? They kind of all stuck together, but that's fine. Let's do it again on this tall, tall tower. Then we're gonna kind of take them apart a little bit and cut them into smaller pieces, all right? So this tall, tall tower, go ahead and saw it back and forth and back and forth. There you go, keep going. And we made it. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4 tall towers. We're gonna take off the top layer of it, and guess what? We're gonna take this biscuit and cut it into 3 pieces. All right, let's see if we can move it to the front of our board so you guys can see better. 1, 2, 3. And guess what? You're gonna do that for each piece of the biscuit. Okay, let's do it again. Let's move these off to the side. 1, 2, and 3. All right, finish cutting up all of your biscuits and meet me back here. All right, we have our biscuits cut up into small pieces, and now comes the fun part. We're gonna dunk them, and then we're gonna throw them in a big bag with a few ingredients we're gonna add to it and give them a big old shake. So this is where it gets really fun. So what you need is your melted butter, and then we're gonna grab a Ziploc bag, one of the big ones. This one's called a 1-gallon Ziploc bag. We're gonna grab one of these, and we are gonna put 1 cup of brown sugar and 1 tablespoon of cinnamon. Now, sometimes it's hard to keep our Ziploc bag open and dump ingredients at the same time. Let me teach you a little trick. If you grab a bowl, any kind of bowl, and you open your Ziploc bag, pop your hand to the bottom of the Ziploc bag and push it to the bottom of your bowl, and then you can fold open your bowl or your Ziploc bag around your bowl. Look, it holds the bag open for you. It's like a little helper in the kitchen. So I have my bag folded open around my bowl, and I'm gonna grab a 1 cup measuring cup. And in that, I am going to add brown sugar. Oh, like I told you, one of my favorite types of sugar right here. You know what, and if a little bit extra gets in there, that's why I'm holding it over the bowl, so if it spills, the bowl will catch it for me. And you know what? The cool thing about brown sugar is you can press it down into your cup and look, there's more space. Go ahead and sprinkle a little bit more in there. Perfect. And it doesn't have to be exact today, but pretty close. That will do. Dump that in your bag. And then you're gonna grab a 1 tablespoon. That's like the biggest size measuring spoon that you guys will have at your kitchen. 1 tablespoon. And this is cinnamon. Fill that up. Dump it in your bag just like that. And now, go ahead and lift up your bag and give these things just a gentle shake. Remember, the top is open, so don't tip it over. But just give it a gentle shake. Maybe squeeze it around a little bit. Get all of those things mixed together. Awesome job. And that's ready to go. So we have our butter ready to go. We have our brown sugar and cinnamon ready to go. We have our biscuits ready to go. We need one more thing. Miss Liz, where are we gonna put these biscuit, cinnamony, buttery bites? Right here. We are gonna be cooking our monkey bread bites in a cupcake or a muffin tin that looks just like this. Now, 2 ways we can do this. You can put cupcake liners in each one of the cupcake spots, or today I am just going to use some nonstick spray. Now let me tell you something about nonstick spray. If we're gonna be using it, we're gonna be using it over the sink. That way it doesn't spray on the floor or all over the counter. I just hold it over the sink and give it a little spritz in each spot. Awesome. There we go. Every spot has been spritzed. We're gonna make some space on the counter. Are we ready to get dirty? I'm ready to get dirty. Here we go. Pop some of these biscuits. Now make sure they're not stuck together. We wanna make sure they're all apart in your butter. I'm gonna do, maybe about 10 pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, because we don't want it to be too full. 10 pieces. I'm gonna give them a good mix around. Good mix around, good mix around. You know what? I'm gonna go grab a fork. And we're gonna drop them in our letting the butter drip off just a little bit from each piece. Poke it, drip it, plop it, poke it, drip it, plop it. Okay. Now, give your bag a good zip and get ready to shake. Are you ready? Let's open it up and see what they look like. Oh, they're perfect, you guys. And they smell so good already. That cinnamon and that brown sugar, my favorite. All right, in each one of your cupcake spots here, we're gonna put 4 pieces of biscuit. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Keep going. I know there's a couple more in here. 1, 2. Ran out of biscuit. Guess what that means? More biscuits going to take a bath in that butter. All right. Mix it around a little bit so they're all covered up in that butter. And then you're gonna poke it. Whoop. Give it a little shake. Plop it. Poke it. Give it a little shake. Plop it. Poke it. Give it a little shake and plop it. All right, you keep working on this. And once you have filled all of your tins up with 4 pieces of biscuit, I want you to meet me right back here and I'll tell you what to do next, okay? All right, Lume kids, I have a cupcake tin sheet that is full of our cinnamon biscuit monkey bread bites. I cannot wait to get this in the oven. It already looks so good. Now, remember our rule about the oven. You need an adult in the kitchen with you. So go ahead and holler for your mom or holler for your dad. And then also we need our oven mitts, all right? So, hey mom, hey dad, we're going in the oven. These are going in the oven for 15 minutes. Here we go. Get our oven mitts on. Open that door. All right, now we're setting a timer for 15 minutes. Now, 15 minutes gives us plenty of time to start cleaning up. Now, I have cinnamon and brown sugar kind of sprinkled on the counter. I have butter left over. I'm gonna pop that in the sink, get these popped in the sink. Part of spending time in the kitchen, you guys, is cleaning up afterwards. Now, that may look different for each of you. Maybe that means you are popping the dishes in the sink and mom and dad can help clean them up. Maybe that means you're putting the dishes in the sink, giving them a good scrub and putting them on a towel. Or maybe that means you're doing the whole thing. You're putting the dishes in the sink, you're scrubbing them up, and then you're putting them away. All of this cinnamon sugar, this is the best part about using a bag. This can just go in the trash. Let's get the rest of our counter space cleaned up and our sink cleaned up, and then we are gonna check on those cinnamon bites in about 15 minutes. Lume kids, it is starting to smell heavenly in here. I am sure in just a couple of minutes in your house, moms and dads and brothers and sisters are gonna be making their way to the kitchen because it smells amazing. Now, if you wanna do one extra piece to elevate or to kind of make a little more fancy your monkey bread bites, is you can make a little glaze to go over the top of them. It's super easy. 3 ingredients: powdered sugar, vanilla extract, and milk. So you're gonna take half a cup of powdered sugar. Oh, I'm making a mess. Put it in a bowl. Then we're gonna add a half a teaspoon, which is just this tiny little amount of vanilla extract. And then also maybe half a teaspoon. Let's start with a half a teaspoon of milk and see if it needs a little more. I'm gonna mix it together with a fork. That way it gets all the clumps out. Now it takes a minute to mix this all together, so be patient and just keep mixing and mixing and mixing. You know what? I can already see that we're gonna need a little more milk. It doesn't need much milk at all. So if you take your container of milk and pour it like this, I promise you, you're gonna get too much and then you're gonna have to start again. So really get out your measuring spoon and do half a teaspoon at a time. One of the easier ways to do it is to pour just a little bit of milk into a cup and take your teaspoon and just scoop up and get a scoop. Here we go. Half a teaspoon at a time and mix it together. You guys, I think mine's pretty much there. Here we go, mix up all of that powdered sugar, kind of scrape the edges, the sides, the bottom. All right, this is looking perfect. You want it to be a little runny, but still thick enough that it isn't quite like water. And this is gonna go perfect over top those hot, yummy, delicious monkey bread bites. We're almost done in the oven, and I'm gonna show you how we know. All right, it's been 15 minutes on my timer. I'm gonna head to the oven to check these out. I'm gonna show you how we can check to see if they're ready or not quite yet. Now, when we're heading to the oven, what do we need? Mom or dad or an adult in here and your oven mitts. All right, shout for mom and dad, and let's go check them out. Oh my gosh, you guys, they look phenomenal. Oh, goodness. All right, I have something on my countertop so I don't place something really hot on top of the counter because that will burn the counter, which is no good. I'm gonna set it right on top here. You guys, I think these ones might just be perfect, but here's how we're gonna test. We're gonna grab a fork and we're going to peek into one of the pieces on top to see if it looks like bread on the inside or if it looks like dough. If it looks like bread, we're done. If it looks like dough, we're back to the oven. Let's take a little peek here. Now you have to be careful. This is all super hot, every piece of it. That's why I'm using a fork. You know what? Let's grab 2 forks, okay? That will really protect our hands. 2 forks, here we go. We're gonna poke one of them right here, poke another, kind of peek inside. Ah, do you guys see that? Yeah, I'm gonna lift this piece up so you can see it. You don't have to do this while you're cooking, but look right here. Do you see how it looks like bread and no longer like dough? That means we're done. So we can turn off the oven and we are going to get this glaze, if you chose to make it, on top. If you didn't make this, that's okay. You don't need it. These are gonna be delicious no matter what. So I think I'll grab a spoon. It might make it a little bit easier. And we are going to put just a little bit. Now, look, do you remember sometimes when we sprinkle seasonings, we hold it up real high? I kind of like doing that too when I put glazes on things, because instead of making one big blob in the middle, it kind of distributes, that's a big fancy word, for spreads out the glaze over all of it. So every bite you get will have a little bit of this on it. So here we go. And it's okay if it gets on the pan. Don't worry about that. We can wash that up at the end. So here we go. Hold it up a little bit high. Oh my gosh. Little swirl over each piece here. I know people from my family are heading to the kitchen right now because this smells so stinking good. You, Lume kids, have just made the most incredible breakfast for your family, and you should be proud of yourself. I can't wait. Now, getting these out can be a little bit tricky, especially because the pan is still hot. But we kind of want to get them out while the pan is still warm. Otherwise, these guys tend to stick to the outside of the cupcake tin. So I'm gonna grab a plate. All right, I grabbed a plate and we want to get them out, like I said, so they don't start sticking to the outside as they cool off. And how we can do that, do we still have our 2 forks? Get them. You're gonna use 2 hands like this and plop them. You're like a crane. Dive in there. You guys, look at them, they look so tasty. I cannot wait to bite into one of these. If your family isn't drooling already, let me tell you, they are going to be. All right, we have all of them out of our cupcake or muffin tin, and now it's almost time to dive in. Let me tell you one more thing that's gonna make cleanup so much easier. This pan that's a little warm, I'm gonna use my oven mitts and we're gonna bring it to the sink. We're gonna turn the sink on to hot water. And then as soon as that sink gets real hot, we're gonna pop this underneath and just let it soak for a bit, okay? And then you can enjoy your cinnamon bites, then to come back and clean up when you're all done. Here comes my favorite part, tasting our creation. All right, they've had a few minutes to cool off. I'm gonna dive right in. Oh my gosh, I've been looking forward to this all morning. Here we go. To die for, they are dynamite. Thanks so much for spending time with me today here in the Lume kitchen. Have a great day. We'll see you next time.